All right, like that video explained, League of Legends is a pretty complicated game, but we've got a fantastic crowd and players from each high school tonight to play League of Legends, the nation's, actually the world's most popular video game right now. Welcome, everyone, to the Ukatsu High School Esports League. My name is Joe, one of the co-founders. With me casting tonight is Ben Brooks, my also co-founder of Ukatsu. How are you feeling tonight, Ben?
I'm feeling pretty good. It is a Friday, coming back off of spring break. So that's pretty exciting for all of you guys out there. I know that a lot of these teams taking a break off as their bye week collectively. No one had any games last week. And as we saw on Wednesday, between the matches between Rockbridge and Battle, we definitely saw a lot of improvement just between the coordination, the macro, the strategizing that went on between those two teams.
You're absolutely right. And for those of you who are brand new to our live stream, watching from home or here tonight in the audience, just a reminder, Ukatsu High School Esports League is the first local live LAN league for young high school athletes in the nation. There has never been anything quite like this, where players come to our studios tonight. They put on their own jerseys. Parents are in the stands. We even have high school students from rival high schools here tonight paying attention, writing down notes, taking down these notes for their next week's match here tonight to study up, hopefully to win that district championship. As we're getting our lobbies in right now, let's talk about the teams we have tonight. So for our away team, we have Hickman High School. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a little bit of applause for our Hickman High School, guys. Solid crowd out here for tonight. And of course, let's not forget our designated home team for tonight, Jefferson City High School, who drove a bus 45 minutes away just to get to our studios. Let's hear for Jeff City.
Yeah.
That's about even in terms of applause right there. Maybe the slight location advantage going towards Hickman High School. We're about to jump into our custom match tonight for our pick and ban phase. Pick and ban being the stage of the game before it even starts, where you choose between the 140 different characters and you ban out the 140 different characters from your enemy team. 5 bans going to each team, 5 picks also going to each team. Because they are the home team tonight, Jefferson City will be playing blue side. Slight advantage, I would say, if you really believe in dragon advantage and what else?
Yeah, the blue side also means you get the first pick, the first ban when it comes to this whole phase that we're about to jump into. Pretty important. When you get into the whole team, I guess, team-based focused part of this game. It's very exciting, actually, if you really start understanding what's going on here. These players know each other really, really well, so they understand who's good at what. And that's why you see them taking so long. We see them communicating very well. The coaches are back behind the players, letting them know who we should ban. And it's a very kind of chess match kind of going on right here, even before we jump into the game.
Yeah, they say games are won and lost in the pick-ban phase because, again, you want to build a well-rounded team composition. You want a good balance of a frontliner. Think of like your lineman on a football team. You want your balance of your high damage dealing, maybe your running back, your quarterback type of personality, and your support characters as well. Do not forget your support characters, ladies and gentlemen, because they contribute a lot to these team compositions. And it looks like we are ready for pick and bans. As soon as you guys are ready, you may start that lobby. So, Ben, we are now in week 4. We've seen an entire rotation, meaning each team in this high school esports league has played each other once. This is the first rematch between Hickman and Jefferson City. How are you feeling about these teams going in?
Well, for the most part, coming into this, Hickman was expected to be, both the A and the B squads were expected to be the #1 seeds coming into this league. When you think about just the kind of talent, the kind of experience that those players brought to the table, how long they've been playing together, they look kind of scary. Except coming into the first round robin, actually, Hickman A and Hickman B both dropped a game in that whole round robin rotation. So they're actually neither leading the record board for either of those. I believe Hickman A is in second place, and Hickman B, there's a 3-way tie for first, although right now they're in the race right now to be tied with Battle for first place.
Right, absolutely. And going into that first match again between both B teams of Jefferson City and Hickman High School, we see a targeted ban instantly coming out from Jefferson City. That would be Trindamere against Tim Peters. That's pretty good as his gamer tag. explain to me why, maybe remind the audience why they went for that ban so fast.
And we've seen it a couple of times coming out of the top lane for Hickman, and it's traditionally they kind of implement the strategy. It's called split pushing. It's where they keep someone in the top lane, and they just push down that lane solely the entirety of the game. And it's kind of annoying. It's difficult for some teams to deal with if they're not able to coordinate very well, or they just don't have a way to respond to it that they put together in their draft.
For sure.
So it's just something that maybe Jefferson City just didn't feel comfortable responding to with what they've got going on right now. So they decided to take it away from them.
Absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about the Hickman bans themselves. They banned out Galio, who surprisingly is actually a champion that Alec Alejero James, the mid laner for Hickman High School, regularly plays. In fact, in the first game between Jefferson City and Hickman High School, he dominated as a Galio damage-dealing mid laner that roamed quite a bit. Mm-hmm. This time they're electing to ban that champion and take that away from Jefferson City, and we'll be I'm very curious to see who he'll pick right now in the next 10 seconds.
Ari. We've seen Ari picked so many times the last couple of weeks, and it's...
Why do you think that is, by the way? Ari, the nine-tailed fox character.
It's a very comfortable pick. It provides a lot of utilities and a lot of tools for the individual player, and so I think these players are really relying on their own skill, their own talent to kind of supplement for the lack of kind of team play that she can provide most compositions, and they're just relying on their own individual skill. They're picking a very fun champion like that. On the flip side, though, for Hickman, we're seeing, like you said before, we're seeing a bunch of different picks. I like that they took away the Galio early on. We've seen a lot of good Galio gameplay. It makes sense they want to ban it if Alejero wasn't electing to play it. We see the Ashe coming in, though, for Tom Lawless, and he really liked that Quinn pick. We saw it neither banned nor selected this time, so maybe he kind of learned his lesson. They did fall last time in their last game with the Quinn pick. It didn't have enough damage.
Right. This time going for more a traditional attack damage carry. Ashe being a frozen bow wielding character that can slow her enemies as she attacks.
Yeah, again, another different pick for Hickman's squad. Nocturne he's an assassin kind of jungler. We're assuming that this pick is going to go in the jungler position. Nathan Nelmore has usually opted for heavy engaged tank kind of characters that provide a lot of CC, crowd control. Think of that being like the stuns, knockups, whatever it takes to engage for his team and kind of root them all in one place, kind of engaging for them. And he's elected a very, very different pick. While he will still be the one engaging, he's more of an assassin now. It doesn't provide as much utility, not as much crowd control, and he's a lot squishier in a sense.
That's absolutely right. And let's take a look at the Jeff City picks. They're going for a hyper-engaged comp as well. Kled up in the top, his ultimate ability. That's the ability you can use every few minutes. Just rolls into a ball thanks to his steed and charges right in. Same goes with Olaf, who can eliminate any sort of crowd control effects and goes straight for the back line. It seems like they're going for a heavy either pick or just straight up engage composition for Jefferson.
With the Morgana and the Veigar makes a lot of sense. I think they have a very good team identity right now. They have a very single-minded focus. They want to engage, so it makes sense that at least their whole composition is on the same page. This is the first time we're also seeing Wolfram 812 in the top lane by Eli McVeigh, I believe it is. This is the first time he's actually playing in this league tonight, so that's pretty exciting. No one really, maybe that's why we see a couple of bans like the Alawi, for instance, on the Hickman side that did maybe some pre-scouting going on because we haven't seen him play yet. And this is week 4, so we'll see if potentially he's coming in as a sub, if he's earned this new spot. We'll see if we'll see him around, but I'm very excited to watch this Kled play, as it's going to be kind of his job to pull the trigger, let his team know when they want to engage, and Kled's usually a very fun champion to watch.
For sure. Yeah, again, as a reminder for those watching at home and in our live audience tonight, Riot Games, the creator of League of Legends, has a 3-minute delay for any spectators, and unless you are Riot yourself, you're not going to get access to that live tournament realm. So while we wait between those 3 minutes, let's talk about maybe the important matchups within this match itself. Which lane or which position do you think determines most of the outcome for this game?
I think it's going to really be about Nathan Nelmore in the jungle for Hickman High School. Nocturne recently was buffed a couple patches ago. Assassin jugglers in general are very, very scary. He's got his ultimate that basically allows him to dash, jump, whatever it really takes. He basically just goes on to another character no matter where they are on the map if they're within range, and the range is pretty huge. And so he can isolate the carries for Jefferson City and just jump on them. It also makes the entire screen black for the other characters, like for the rest of Jefferson City's teammates, so they can't see what's going on. So he can isolate the carries and jump on them. And if he gets ahead early on, if he's able to find kills and snowball, he'll be strong enough to just one-shot and entirely take away the carry factors for Jefferson City.
For sure. I think both of these team comps have effective engages, effective ways to pick out an individual, and we're going to see which team has the best discipline to push when they know they can and stay reserved when they know they have no vision. That way they don't lose an objective, lose a Baron, lose a Dragon, or potentially a tower.
And I think, like we said before about teams having a single identity, they want to. Both teams look like they have a lot of engaged potential, a lot of pick potential. You got the Ashe Arrow, you got the Ari's Charm, a lot of good CC coming out on both teams. I will say though, Hickman High School has drafted a composition that has a little bit more disengage. When we say disengage, their abilities, meaning that they can get away from these fights, escape, and essentially just escape from the engages that Jefferson City will put out. But Jefferson City doesn't have as much or as much reliable.
Right.
So a lot of their composition wants them to move forward. So we're going to see, I guess, how that works out. I think there's going to be a lot more team fighting on the map here. They do have some semblances. They could do a little bit of split pushing here, potentially, with the Olaf, the Tristana for Jefferson City. But for the most part, I'm expecting a lot more team play, maybe better rotations, a better more macro sense this game around. And I think that might decide exactly who wins this game if no one snowballs.
For sure. Hickman High School, again, notorious for being that 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1 tower dive team, banking on the fact that the enemy team can't respond to something like that. Of course, being in this league itself, it's made every single team focus much more on the macro play, where to be for your teammates, and where to be in terms of pushing and staying reserved. So let's see if they've learned their lesson from the previous games, from the previous weeks, especially because they played, who is it before spring break? They played Battle High School.
That's correct, yeah.
And they also faced that same issue. Let's see if they can bounce back from that, respond to the pressure that they will inevitably get from a roaming mid laner, Alec. And if they can, it's going to be a lot closer of a game.
So the spectators' delay has now finished up here, and we're going to be jumping into game very, very shortly here as soon as the client itself loads in. Essentially, though, take your bets. Again, just
you always do this to me, Ben. Let's see.
I want to hear you first before I say exactly who I believe is going to win this game. Just based on compositions alone and just from what we've seen previously from these teams. Coming into this game, though, Hickman B is coming in at a 2-1 record, while Jefferson City B is coming in right now with a winless record. And that's not to say that they haven't looked very good in some instances throughout this league. They are still a very new team. They've done a lot of different rotations with their rosters. This is another iteration, an entirely new iteration of their B team roster that we haven't seen yet. So we'll have to see here if that's potentially maybe the answer to some of those issues.
For sure. In terms of who I think will be winning tonight, looking at those team comps, I think there's going to be, like you said, the jungle matchup is very important here. Whoever falls behind is going to have a rough time in these team fights. And I think that Nathan will have that aggression to go full steam ahead, especially once he hits level 6. We're going to see a pitch black screen, or not pitch black, but we'll see a black screen coming on, and I guarantee you it's going to force either a first blood or a first kink kill.
All right, so jumping into the live. Oh, by the way, I didn't give you my answer either. I do expect if teams play this appropriately, I probably have to place my bets on Hickman B, just on their ability to snowball. They do have, except for the tendencies to rotate around the map and find those 2v1 situations, those the right roams. It does allow them to snowball very, very well, and their team itself is crazy comp if they get ahead.
On the other hand, they are playing a different type of team comp that they're normally used to. These characters are not, like for instance, Tim is not playing a split push champion that can just knock on top tower door all day long. We're going to see if he's got the ability to use that teleport, to use his roaming to help out, because that's what his character, Ornn, the Ram God, really excels at, is that team fight. And also at the same time, you don't have that magical halfway across the map teleport coming in from Alec as a Galio. So curious to see if their new experimentations are going to pay off for them, because ultimately they do want to diversify the types of champions they pick.
So as we wait to start into this game, as we said before in the video, the really first part of the game is kind of slow as we wait for the minions to spawn at the first minute and 30 seconds. So while we're waiting for that to happen and teams to go to their traditional lanes, we're going to talk a little bit about who is who. So starting in the top lane, again, very new to the league, first time playing, we have Wolfram 812, who is Eli McVeigh. Again, we haven't seen him yet, so he's currently playing Kled, this bearded dragon.
Old veteran riding a steed with a sharp stick is pretty much his character. Again, a lot of character diversity in this game, 140 plus characters to choose from.
Coming in for the jungle then for Jefferson City High School. They are on the blue side, of course. It is Dragon the God being Quinn Kempker. Kempker? I believe that is correct. Playing the Berserker right now. He's crazy, crazy, crazy strong. I personally don't like this champion a lot playing against it. He's doesn't have a lot of CC, but he has an ultimate that allows him to like run onto the back line. He can be pretty scary, very bruisery kind of fighter for their team. Coming out in the mid lane, we have the Yordle Mage Vagar coming out for Voltix 1269, played by Trent Kempker also. Running out the bot lane for Jefferson City, we also have Silver Eagle 99 and Dark Chaos 223. Dark Chaos before has played mid lane for Jefferson City B Squad, and now he's playing support, so it is also another role rotation in the bot lane. And, of course, rounding out the top lane for Hickman's B Squad, we have Tim A. That's pretty good. Tim Peters. I really love that name. He's playing Ornn, the giant ram god-looking character. Very strong, very tanky. Has a lot of CC and engage for his team. Oh, and we see a little cheeky invade coming in. Maybe
successful invade, taking away the blue camp away from Dragon the God. That would be Quinn Kemper.
Nathan Nelmore on this new Nocturne Assassin pick. Not your traditional jungler played for Hickman's squad. They normally opt for the tankier engage
early
junglers.
Gank going out. And that's a first blood for Nathan Nelmore within 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. We talked about how this is a very jungle-dependent type of team comp, especially when it comes to getting fed as a Nocturne so that he can pretty much shred anyone that crosses his path, stealing their life away at the same time.
Yeah, so for the most part, that's a huge start for Hickman High School. Not only does Nathan here steal away the resources, the buff from Dragon the God from Jefferson City, taking away his resources, starving him from experience, he also then finds the first blood on the map in the top lane. That's just a clean transition for Nathan Nelmore, who is experienced in this league. Rounding out the bot lane, then, of course, for Hickman High School, we have Tom Lawless, and Griffin Willen 456 being the ice bow-wielding queen and the giant shield Christmas man-looking Santa.
They've got a theme going on there.
Both have a lot of ice effects for their characters, and they're not a lot of fun to deal with. And we talk a lot about CC and engaging. CC being crowd control, those being slows, those being stuns. They're very, very annoying. Well, as we see here, Willen 456 lands his Q ability onto Silver Eagle 99, which slows her, and they get 4 procs on her. She's also stunned. Both of these characters in the bot lane deal a lot of CC. They'll continue to slow them, continue to stun them, and it's not a lot of fun.
Ice being famous in video games for having slowing properties, stunning, freezing properties. That's exactly what we see right here today between the Hickman bot lane.
Yeah, so for the most part, though, even though top lane did end up having that early gank going on, putting Wolfram 1-2, Eli down 1 kill to the Ornn. He's actually up in CS. When we talk about CS again, there are these numbers right here, those being the minion kills. When you kill a minion, you get the last hit on them, you get bonus gold. Gold, of course, used to buy items, which allows you to scale, deal more damage. Pretty important factor when we talk about resources in this game. And so him being up in CS, even though he was dead for a little bit, is pretty good. Pretty good to see coming out from this new player. We haven't seen him before. Now, that's where we talk about other differences, though, from CS. So we see in the jungle position, both Dragon the God and Voltix 126 are a little bit behind in CS, both down by about 10 to their lane opponents. 15, being down by 15 CS or more does mean that you're down about 1 kill. So that's something that's take into account that the Ahri and the Nocturne are going to be stronger than their lane opponents.
That's right. And as a jungler, Nathan will be looking, because he's ahead in both gold and experience, he's going to be looking to invade the enemy jungle or providing more pressure, as we see right now as he sneaks in to the blue side tri-bush, hoping to find something.
Silver Eagle 99, Jarek, is pretty low at this point in the game. If they push up too far, they do not actually have vision of Nathan Nelmore. So if they push up too far, looks like Nathan's being a little bit patient, trying to see if he finds an opening for this gank here in the bot lane. Going into mid lane, though, Alec Alejero jumping forward. He hits level 6, trying to find the kill on Voltix. He is able to flash away, saves his life. Nathan Nelmore finds the gank, though, in the bot lane. Looks like Jefferson City does escape with their lives.
Scares them off.
Yeah, the bot lane for Hickman High School does take a little bit of turret damage for their troubles.
But that will not go unpunished, though. The bot lane for Jefferson City High School did have to blow a heal summoner ability. Again, you have a flash, a heal, a teleport that you can elect to choose from a variety of different summoner abilities that you can use every few minutes. So they may be a slightly successful gank in terms of applying pressure.
Yeah, so now multiple members backing off, recalling after that little engagement, trying to recover their health, trying to buy their items. For the most part, pretty good play. Nah, not quite. So one of the issues there that happened that's pretty important to explain. Oh, we'll get into that in a second here as we actually try to find him.
Another
Nathan
invade
Nelmore.
coming in from Nathan, applying so much pressure to this enemy jungler, getting a second kill in the game. He is now 2-0-0 at 7 minutes and 30 seconds. He's going to probably hop over, clear this ward. Yep. And then continue farming his own jungle.
Yep, flash. We just talked about wards a little bit. Those little items that people can buy in place, they grant vision to your opponents. So we talk about vision. This is currently what Jefferson City sees. All that area is dark, and that is what's allowing Nathan Nelmore to just roam into the enemy jungle. And essentially, he's just punishing Dragon the God. None of his teammates are able to respond. They don't know that Nelmore is in his jungle, and he's just in a very unfortunate situation as Nathan's already picked up 2 kills. He's significantly stronger than the Olaf, and he's able to kind of out-trade him in some of those duels.
So Hickman makes the early dragon call at 8 minutes. They are able to secure the first dragon, which gives them, in this case, I believe, a movement speed buff. And they're plotting again for another gank. Nathan is level 6, so he can use that ultimate ability if he so
doesn't land the
chooses.
spell shield. Multiple flashes though
from-
coming out. Dark Chaos does secure the root, the stun onto Willen, and they're going to skip their lives. Multiple flashes being blown once again, though. I mean, they won't be able to escape next time around. I will say, though, that, Nathan's all over the map, and we see this time and time again with his different, when you think about the Zac picks, the other heavy CC kind of champions. And the thing to point out, though, is that even on a different kind of character, on a different kind of play style, he's still, like, putting that pressure all over the map.
I would almost say that this pick for Nathan is better suited for his playstyle that he's had in the past few weeks, because he can get so carried.
Ooh, ultimate coming
Huge.
out from Tom Lawless. Easy secure on the bot lane. Walked up a little bit too close. Didn't really respect that level 6 power spike. And Hickman bot side picks up another kill. And for the most part, just like business as usual for Hickman High School. Great rotations, great pressure around the map, and they're able to pick up these kills one at a time. And I'm assuming pretty soon here, they're going to start trying to rotate and apply that pressure elsewhere, specifically in the mid lane. This is probably one of the first times, actually, that Alec Aljaro's not having as much pressure as usual. He has one kill up over his lane opponent, but traditionally in his last couple of games, we've seen him all over the map.
That's right. He's also very high up in CS compared to the rival mid laner, Voltix. He's currently 69 to Voltix's 45, which means he's got a lot more items and experience over his rival, which means he will be using that pressure that he can accumulate to roam, which I think we're seeing right now as he starts to ward, feel for where the enemy jungler is.
And I think that, again, has to be the #1 thing that Jefferson City needs to improve upon throughout these games and throughout the season as it goes on. They need to really, really work on their ward control a little bit. That's really what's allowing Nathan Nelmore to find those trades around the map, or find those invades, I mean, as well as kind of prevent some of those rotations. I think that's something that Rockbridge specifically does very, very well in their games, as we constantly see Jeffrey Galaxy Fox Mull in the jungle for Rockbridge's A with these crazy invades and these crazy ganks from different angles that teams just aren't prepared for. And that's really what sets their teams up for success. And we're seeing the same thing here for Hickman B.
And at the same time, if you were to encounter a very aggressive enemy jungler, there is a way to respond to that. Calling it out on the map, asking for help from your laners. They can easily flank and group up on this one annoying jungler that's trying to steal all of your camps.
Looks like things have actually slowed down a bit, though. Not traditional for the Hickman squad. And I think that's what's pretty helpful, though, for Jefferson City, allowing them to farm back up, try to get some of those resources, try to close that gap that's kind of arisen from all the kills that they've gotten. And it's all right now, because we're talking about, if we talk about scaling a little bit, scaling being the later the game goes on, the stronger characters get. Jefferson City does have a pretty strong scaling team. Tristana being an excellent AD carry, played by Silver Eagle 99 Jared. The later this game goes, he's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Same thing for Voltix, 1269 playing Veigar. He's a infinitely scaling strength mid laner over there, and it's going to be terrifying to watch later on this game if they're able to get their items and their stats.
And as we approach the 15-minute mark, more invading comes in from Hickman High School. As you can see, Nathan is all the way in the bot side blue jungle, about to steal this large raptor camp away from Olaf, Dragon the God. Let's see if he turns this into another gank or even another invade, as he's about to face check into the enemy jungler yet again.
We'll say Jefferson City is again unaware that Nelmore is in their jungle. They do not have vision of the Nocturne in this map. We're seeing a teleport coming in the bot lane. Tom Lawless is pretty low. We're seeing the ultimate. This is the ultimate they were talking about from Nathan Nelmore. He jumped onto the enemy bot lane. Well, and they picked that kill up very, very quickly. Again, that's honestly the kind of clean gameplay they were to expect from Hickman High School. Again, the good point here, though, is that Silver Eagle 99, Dark Chaos, they were able to respond pretty effectively to the kind of engage that was going on in the bot lane. We actually saw Tom Lawless get really, really low, but it was Hickman's ability to respond, in a pinch, whether it be from Nathan Nelmore's global ultimate or even just a roam from Alejero, to kind of turn that fight around.
Right, and that really just boils down to effective communications. Ladies and gentlemen, they're all on microphones right now talking to each other live as we are playing this game or witnessing this game. So even though Tom was nearly dead, he was able to flash out, heal, call in for that help. We saw the teleport come in from Alec Alejero as well as the ultimate from Nathan. Nathan's ultimate is the replacement, I guess, this time around. He does have a very wide range, almost half the map kind of global ultimate that he can just jump in and be a part of any fight he chooses.
Yeah. For the most part, though, it's a little bit slower start, though, than traditionally that we've seen in some of these B-team games. We normally see a lot more kills on where team fighting going on. But the first tower did go down due to that little engagement that happened in the bot lane. First tower granting bonus gold to the Hickman B squad. They're currently up about 5K, 6K gold in comparison to their Jefferson City counterparts by 6 kills, 1 tower, and 1 dragon. So they're sort of kind of winning in every facet of this game right now. We're seeing a TP coming in from that's pretty good. Tim Peters to the bot lane. They're currently lane swapping. Pretty effective strategy implemented when one tower is taken on the side of the map. They're able to then force, we actually just missed it in the top lane, for a 2v1 situation when opponents lane swap. So the bot lane will then go top, force that 2v1 situation, and then they'll try to take down this tower as well. We talk about translating their pressure across the map. Hickman's doing that again.
And this is something, this is a strategy that Coach Ben Bruce has taught their Hickman squad very, very well. Once you have a lead, switch out with another lane that doesn't have that much of a lead so that you can apply pressure on other sides of the map. Once one tower is down, you can easily rotate, get the second tower. And ladies and gentlemen, towers is what wins games. Destroying these towers, getting that much closer to the enemy nexus, that ultimately seals the deal for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that maybe, even if it's just, maybe it's not the right choice, but if potentially Jefferson City is able just to group and force engage. Oh, we're seeing a pretty nice engage coming to the bot lane. Great Dark Binding coming out of Dark Chaos onto Tim Peters, but he's pretty tanky. Silver Eagle barely dodges the ultimate from Ornn, knocks him back. They don't have the damage, though. Ornn is almost trying to chase them down, but another great binding coming out from Elijah.
Tim just too tanky right now for their Jefferson City bot lane to completely kill in a 2-versus-1 situation. Meanwhile, Hickman identifies this situation and goes for the first Baron side objective on the map. That is Rift Herald, a crab-like creature that when you kill him, you can summon him again to help you take down a turret.
Looks like they might try to do that right here. And see, and this is kind of what I was about to say Jefferson City might need to try to implement, is force their number advantages across the map. They're obviously not winning in the 1v1s, even in the 2v1 situations. Maybe, good ultimate coming out from Tom Lawless. He actually picks up the kill with the Ash Arrow off screen. Voltix goes down, and see the Rift Shard of the mid lane. All of Hickman squad, except for Tim Peters, is currently grouped, and they're just pushing down the middle of the lane.
Very well shot arrow from Thomas Lawless. Normally that arrow only stuns. It doesn't do too much damage, but he was able to secure the kill. And as we approach our next team fight right now, we're going to see Scuttlecrab taking the next tower. Ultimate coming in from Nathan just to scare away his opponents, using that as a disengage. Very smart move, identifying that this may not have been the team fight that they wanted to pick after engaging just so recently before.
Yeah, so surprisingly, Hickman High School does pick up 2 towers in the mid lane with that Rift Herald, and it looked like Wolfram 812 actually found a nice flanking position to engage with that Kled ultimate. He turns to a big ball, speeds up all of his teammates that kind of follow him on that path, and looked like a 4v4 situation there. But no one goes down. Nelmore almost lost his life there, but he was able to pop his ultimate, and the rest of his teammates were able to cover for him as he escaped.
Meanwhile, round 2 in the bot lane with Tim Peters. That's pretty good. Almost taunting his team, the rival teammate, going in and out, saying, I can take all 3 of you on at the same time. Come on at me.
Yeah, that's not
soaking up so much pressure on the map, though, and that opens up room for, taking an objective like this dragon that we're seeing right now.
And that's not good. That's not something you want to see when they have a tank who's not only able to just absorb three people's damage entirely for at least 5 to 10 seconds, but he's able to also deal damage and force the other team to disengage while Nelmore is making his way down. That's not good if one player can do that. I think in a 5v5 situation right now, Jefferson City's at a bit of a disadvantage.
Hickman securing their second Drake of the match, almost 10,000 gold lead. At 17 minutes in the game, Jeff City decides to rotate top to see what they can do against Thomas Lawless and Griffin Pelling, playing Braum and Ash tonight.
And it's very important to note, man, we talked about seeing again at the beginning, Hickman B squad are arguably on par with even some of the other schools' A squads. They have a very experienced group of players, and when you put that into account, the ability to play together, and as the season goes on, they learn to play better with each other. They build that synergy, and of course, behind the coaching from Coach Bruce, they're just systematically kind of dismantling this newer Jefferson City squad.
We'll see how quickly they can wrap up this game as they apply continually pressure in the top, mid, and bot lane.
I like what they're doing right now as Jefferson City. I like that they're trying to group up. They understand the difficulty that they're having in the 2v1 situations, and it's better for them that they don't get picked. Kind of like this. Again, Hickman High School does have a lot of abilities that allow to do just this. Find players who are caught out, just take them out with their ultimates, and see, they find the pick there in the top lane. There's currently 3 members of Hickman. Maybe they're not going to push it down? No, they are going to attempt to push down the second tier. Yeah,
that was that opportunity right in the mid lane when they see 3 members of Hickman up at top. Meanwhile, we've got Tom Lawless sitting alone in the mid lane. That would have been an opportunity to engage. Instead, they're electing to go for a 4 versus 1 right here.
I like this. I like that a lot. So Ari had just used her ultimate, her only really disengage or escape ability, and hopefully Jefferson City, realizing that, they found that pick. They found the 4v1 situation, and at least now they're on the board. We see the kill going over to Dragon the God, and it is still a 1-9 situation, but that is at least gold in their pockets. That is a shutdown, and maybe if they're able to find more situations like that, where they're able to find the picks, they might have a chance to maybe claw their way, find a foothold back into this game.
Right. The later this game goes, the more even it does become, because eventually, even if you are behind, you will catch up in both experience and gold. And once you hit this very late game mark, around the 45, 50 minutes, that's when everyone has pretty much farmed up regardless of who was ahead early game. So again, it's it's crucial for Hickman to apply as much pressure smartly as they can to seal up this game, or else we can hit a late game situation where mid laner Trent Kempker, he can blow up any AD carry, any mid laner he sees, because he's playing the character that slowly ramps up in damage for each minion that he kills.
On the flip side, though, we talked about who we wanted to point out. Well, I guess whose hand is the game in, and we talked about Nathan Nelmore being kind of the person that's going to dictate whether or not Hickman High School is in a strong position. He said he got a 4-0 right now. He hasn't died yet. He has the most kills in this game. And as an assassin, that just means he's going to get closer and closer to one-shotting the carries for Jefferson City.
Hickman may have spotted the rest of the Jefferson City team in bot side jungle, because they elected to go for a very early Baron call at 20 minutes in. Here Nathan cleans up the next kill. Vision in the rival jungle. That's exactly what led them to a Baron secure, as well as that pick on Trent. So now with this added Baron buff, they have super charged minions, and they will be pushing down into the nexus of Jefferson City High School.
And that's going to show really how far ahead Hickman High School is right now. A Baron is a neutral monster that spawns at the 20-minute mark. They secured it at 48 seconds.
Beautiful knock-up from A. That's pretty good. Starting the chain of CC. This will be a team wipe. 4 kills. Ace, technically, if you count the first one that happened earlier. Now knocking down the top lane turret and inhibitor. Once that inhibitor goes down, top wave will now start spawning super minions, adding that much more pressure into Jefferson City's base.
Oh, looks like High School is opting to continue to push in this game. Yeah, we're 20 minutes in. They have Baron. They secured the first Nexus Tower of the game. Multiple members of Jefferson City are still down. They're going to secure the second tower.
They are going for the win.
Yeah, 22 minutes into this game, Hickman High School, the B squad is trying to finish the game.
Last-ditch effort from Jefferson City, but they are not able to defend. That would be game 1 for B team going to Hickman High School. A very scary team coming off from Hickman. Very impressed with their rotations and their early game.
Yeah, a very surgical kind of victory here. We're seeing the only instant replay they recorded in this game being the first team fight, actually, for the entire game. Multiple ultimates coming out from Hickman High School. We see the Orange ultimate, the Ash ultimate, and just able to pick off and tear through all the characters in Jefferson City side. And it's just something that's they just weren't equipped for. They just didn't have the damage. They weren't able to compete, and they wipe them out. And from there with the Baron, they just pushed down to win the game.
Again, that's the name of the game. Start early, get ahead early, and then apply that pressure so you can win early. And that's exactly what they did. 22 minutes in. One of the fastest games we've had in the Columbia Jefferson City High School eSports League.
And so, again, the instant replay brought to you guys by Veterans United Home Loans. Thank you guys for bringing that excellent instant replay to you guys. Also, thank you to the rest of our sponsors, being Columbia College, being Armstrong, Teasdale, and of course,
Hawthorne Bank.
Hawthorne Bank.
Yeah.
Couldn't
have done it without you guys.
So that game, it just kind of turned, the whole game just got turned on its head very quickly. Hickman High School's there to snowball very, very quickly. And now we're going to jump into the A game. So as the A team members for both squads of Jefferson City and Hickman High School begin setting up, we're going to take a short intermission while we set the stage for the next match.
Thanks for watching. Don't click away from that browser.
I like to. I like to. I like to love you every day. I like to love you, love you. I like to love you, if I may.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the 4th week of our Ukatsu High School Esports League, and you just saw a little advertisement there, Ben. You want to tell us about the Fortnite Challenge?
Yeah, so I think it's before, a lot of you guys out there think you're good at Fortnite. We've heard it a lot, whether you're on console, whether you're on PC. Everyone out there is telling us, hey, I'm pretty good at Fortnite. I got like 30 solo wins. I got 100 solo wins. We even hear people like trying to connive some coaching out of each other. So that's why we're offering you guys in Columbia, Missouri, the chance to prove that you are the #1 player in Fortnite. Both solos and duo challenges next Tuesday from 5, starting at 5:30 will be registration. So, but from 6 to 9, we'll be doing a Fortnite tournament challenge here at Ukatsu with a chance to win real cash money. So come out here, go and prove your worth, whether you're on console, PC, bring your controller. It'll work either way. We'll have 24 systems by then, and get ready to figure out where you want to drop.
Absolutely. Prove who is top dog when it comes to Fortnite Battle Royale. Spots are going by very quickly. Please RSVP on Facebook and smash.gg to reserve your spot today. I wish I could participate, but it's all right. I'm cheering on our middle school kids who are a part of Ukatsu. That'd be Joey, Eli, Kevin. Shout-outs to you guys. Andrew, Kevin, can't wait to watch you guys win home that cash prize. It'll be fun. All right. Let's get back into week 4, match between Hickman High School and Jefferson City High School. We are now switching over to our A teams, and these two teams played each other week 1, and it was very competitive. I will say both Ben and I were shocked at how close of a game that was, and we're going to see if anyone has learned how to deal with the pressure that is the top lane.
Yeah, pretty much. So again, we're in the second round robin, week 4 of the Ukatsu High School Esports League. Thank you to all of our sponsors again, and we're about to jump into the game tonight to round out the last game of week 4 this Friday. So here we go.
All right, so pick and ban phase again. Each team decides which champion they want to play, and at the same time, they ban out the opponent's champions that they don't want to play against. So first ban coming out again, Darius, a key target ban against Michael Joe. We got signs tonight for Michael. 3 people in the audience tonight holding up Dark Quacker signs. Very passionate about the. They're not even one of them's not even a Hickman member himself. He's just a supporter from Rockbridge High School. Great to see the support coming out from rival high schools for this league.
Yeah, and for
that's
guys-
something you don't see
That's the,
in
guys,
any other
if you guys
sport.
don't know already as well, we talked about it a lot. Michael Darkwacker is a very, very good player at this game. The coolest part about this is a lot of these players have played together outside of the game as well, but Michael was easily within the top 1% of players, being a Diamond 1 player last season. So he's pretty dang good at this game, and as such, they gave him a lot of respect, both the Darius being one of his signature picks and the Cho'Gath being a pick that he played really, really well 2 weeks ago, I believe. And he's just very, very scary. And so the takeaway, honestly, that's not a bad choice. It's taking away the picks that you really don't want to play against, as well as the Kaisa, a pick that GoSubot played very, very well, actually, a week before spring break. The week before spring break.
Right.
Very, very scary, as well as, and that's something that's really, really cool about Hickman High School's A squad, is that they do have 2 carry threats around their lanes, whether it's Dark Quacker, being just the oppression that comes from the top lane. He just dominates his lane opponents, and he's just very, very scary to deal with because of just how good his mechanics are. And, of course, the carry that you have in GoSubot, that's just his style of play. That is just him fitting into his team. He is the secondary carry, if not the primary carry for his team. He gets most of the resources. He does deal a lot of damage as an AD carry. He likes to be on the front lines, and it's just something that's a 2-pronged approach that's kind of hard to deal with.
For sure. First picks coming out for Jefferson City, hovering both Alawi and now actually picking Scion. I like those picks both because they do stand toe-to-toe against any top laner in the current meta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, safer top lane picks. Again, the respect bans also, though, coming out from Hickman High School. 3 mid lane bans targeted at escape velocity, Cameron Day.
That's
That's
right.
something he does perform very well. We've seen him being one of the bright spots on this roster for Jefferson City. He does kind of like to show out and show off some of those crazier plays, and depending on whatever he's picked, and those are 2 picks that he's played previously before. He's picked Brand a couple of times in this league, so maybe you might see that again. Maybe he's hovering the Nunu.
I don't
He's
gonna play Nunu. He's baiting us all here tonight. Maybe he is. Coach Rollins standing behind him, smiles in his direction. Cameron Day does finally pick Oriana, another very heavy team fighting, engage heavy champion.
Yep, we see that. We've seen that a couple of times coming out, even actually on Wednesday from the other Cameron, the Battle High School's A-team mid laner. And again, the robot lady that has a lot of control. I mean, she's, I guess, a control mage, essentially. And her ability to team fight around her abilities, it's pretty effective, like in conjunction with both the tank being Waddle Dash and Zac from Dragon the God. So maybe we'll see some crazy team plays coming there. We see Lux coming in for How one of his signature picks.
Oh, yes.
Played to very much success in 2 of the weeks. And again, I think very comfortable picks coming out from Hickman so far. Nothing too crazy. Caitlyn being another safe laner with a lot of range. The Trundle pick, do you think it's going to go jungle? Do you think it's going to go top? Where would you
I
think?
want to say this will be a jungle pick for Bo, a.k.a. Uncle Angel, here tonight. I believe he has played very similar types of champions. We've seen J4 come out from him. Very bruiser-heavy tank style, but that can pursue in a team fight. Not really much of the traditional meta team comp you're seeing from Hickman High School, but I think they're relying on their own individual strengths, individual mechanics to win out these team fights. Meanwhile, for Jefferson City, we're seeing a very nasty, a very dangerous initiation team fight combo, and if they can find the right pick, lots of oohs and ahs from the audience tonight because Yorick was just picked. The Grave Digger champion, Michael Joe, will be playing him in the top lane. Again, these are not your traditional team fight types of team comps right now. Meanwhile, Jefferson City just getting that much stronger in the team fight, rounding out potentially with this Jinx pick. Yes, they do lock it in for Silver Eagle. That would be Jarek. If Jefferson City can find the right engage, they will win these team fights, I think, based off of the picks that we've seen coming from Hickman High School.
Not a lot of identity coming out right now from Hickman High School. Again, the Yorick, not a very traditional pick. You got to wonder, is trying to dig the grave of poor Waldadosh in the top lane, or has he just dug his own grave? Yorick being kind of a split-pushing top laner. Actually, we've seen that Michael Joe Dark Quacker's played, he's kind of played Yorick a lot on his own in his solo queue, and he does have a couple of requirements, though, if you're going to play him to some success, and that being the success of his teammates elsewhere on the map. We're probably going to see a lot more of Yorick roaming around the map, not roaming, split pushing on the map alone in the top side, forcing people to respond to him. We see it a lot, actually. We might see another 4v1, 3v1 situation in the top lane, and Yorick does a lot of damage, too, if he gets his items, so you might see him even just one-shot Silver Eagle. But on the flip side, though, for Jefferson City, like you said before, their team comp identity is very singly focused on engaging and protecting the Jinx and the Orianna. I really, really like their team identity. We've seen it before, Jinx being played by Riley previously, the B team, AD carry for Rockbridge. Again, played the game after that, again by Battles. And Jinx is a hyper-scaling,
pretty strong in this meta.
Yeah, crazy damage-dealing AD carry. And if Jarek is able to position well in his back line and just dish out damage, I don't think... And is he able to at least avoid the CC coming up from the Lux, potentially? It's probably the only threat he has if he's able to kite back and avoid the Yorick and the Trundle. Silver Eagle 99 could carry this game.
That's absolutely right. Meanwhile, we finally see the team composition rounding out for Hickman High School. Essentially, it breaks down to this. Let's watch Michael push as hard as he possibly can in the top or bot lane. And meanwhile, we're going to defend as much as we can with the wave clear from How with the Lux pick. The Caitlyn also able to hang back while shooting away. And let's not forget about Janna, who is a huge disengaged champion, able to whirlwind push back her enemies if they see a huge engage coming in from any one of these characters from Jefferson City, whether that be Scion's ultimate, Zack's jump in, Orianna's ball combination with both Zack and Scion, and Leona, who also has a stun ultimate. So it's all about... It really is about teamwork, this game. If Hickman can pull off this team comp, the split push team comp effectively, we've seen very, very few schools able to deal with this type of comp. It is a more advanced type of team comp, but at the same time, it's more difficult to pull one off if you don't know when to disengage when you're outmatched by a 5v4 situation in mid lane.
And I'll say, Jefferson City has exactly the right tools if they're trying to fight this split composition from Hickman High School. To battle a split push composition is you want to pick your fights. You want to find those 4v1 or the 4v5 situations when you know York's in the top lane and pull the trigger. You want to engage because you know you have the numbers advantage, and they have just that. When you talk for all the CC, all the ultimates they have, and if they can force these fights, which hopefully they can, then they're going to come out on top. They do have the tools to stop this Hickman squad. Something we say a lot, though, is we talk about the scaling AD carries, we talk about scaling into the late game. They have a better late game comp, which I do believe Jefferson City does have. The thing is, we talk about that a lot, but most cases, a lot of these high school teams are not getting to that late game point. I feel like I say that countless again. Hey, they get to the late game, they have a chance, but maybe that's not the right choice. We've seen countless times teams like Hickman, teams like Rockbridge shutting down the other teams, even though they have a later game scaling comp. And maybe it's time for some of these teams to try focusing around on the early game, because I fully expect Hickman High School's Uncle Angel, Bo, Trundle to roam around on the mid side and the bot side of the map, helping them get ahead. And I expect him to have way more pressure early on. And it's just something I don't know if Jefferson City's going to be equipped to handle. Again, though, if they make it out of the mid game or into the mid game, not too far behind an objective, they'll have a very good chance to start team fighting and finding the right picks. But the question is, I think it's really going to matter in the first 10 minutes of the game. How effective is Uncle Angel going to be across the map? Or even, is Hickman going to find solo kills? If Jefferson City can stop the solo kills from happening and prevent Uncle Angel from snowballing anyone, then they have a pretty good chance to come at least into the mid game, into the late game even, and putting them in a good spot.
Yeah, personally, taking a look at these two matchups, I would say that the critical one would be the mid lane, How versus Cameron Day. Cameron, of course, is considered the star athlete on his team with the highest solo queue rank. Depending on whether or not he can get ahead of How, who has been traditionally a passive type of laner until they approach the team fights, that could be that what's the right word? The plank to stop the flood
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the
Stopgap.
flood. Yeah.
And also, otherwise, though, as well, I'd like to highlight Waddle Dash. He had an excellent game week 1 into Dark Whacker, going down once in lane, but then for the most part being very, very effective on the gangplank throughout the rest of the game. We've actually seen Waddle Dash step up time and time again, something I think that's a little underappreciated, actually, from the beginning. He's been also another standout pick for his team. Actually, something we haven't talked about too much at the beginning is the fact that both Waddle Dash and Escape Velocity will be representing Jefferson City High School in the All-Star match tomorrow at the Midwest Campus Clash. Also, for those of you guys who don't know already, the Midwest Campus Clash is a gaming expo held by Columbia College, kind of highlighting the collegiate teams in the area. I know Mizzou's team will also be there, Columbia College, Maryville, RMU, and also, our very own Ukatsu High School League
That's
will be
right.
showing up at an all-star match. 2 players representing from every single one of the teams playing in this league. They're sending 2 players. They're going to be on that team. They're going to be playing in a highlighting kind of exhibition match. It's
As
gonna be
well
fun
as
to
a
watch.
coach from, was it Battle High School?
I'm not sure. I know some people were doing a coin flip. I'm not really sure which coaches will be
Right.
representing him, but 2 players, 1 coach, in kind of a north versus south battle.
Absolutely. All in all, a lot of fun tomorrow to be said. We've heard some rumors that a certain person, a certain mid laner, may be getting his favorite champion that game. We don't know for sure, not confirmed, but all in all, it's not really in the competitive spirit. More so, it's in the fun. Let's celebrate this whole high school esports thing that we've created here at in Columbia, Missouri, of all places. It's going to be very exciting, and the middle school kids will be a part of it. The parents are going to be in the stands, and even the colleges will get to see what's going on here.
Yep. So as we're hopping into this game, they're fixing a couple of technical things on their end, and we're gonna get right into it here. Going back into the compositions, though, I am going to, of course, root for not root. I shouldn't say root because I'm not rooting for anyone here. If anything, actually, I would love to see another upset because we've seen a lot of upsets recently.
yes.
Actually, I'd love to see the Jefferson City upset on Hickman High School, but I do believe that just from the caliber of players that they have and the kind of rotations they have early on, Hickman High School probably is going to run away with it early on. But if they don't, then I think on the backs of Silver Eagle 99 and Escape Velocity, if they're able to protect themselves and deal the right amount of damage, Jefferson City come out with a win here.
Yeah, this time Hickman does not have that Jarvan 4 pick. Jarvan is a spear-wielding warrior that launches in the air and slams to the ground and creates this earth that they cannot escape, leaving that opportunity for Hal, the Lux lightsaber or light staff-wielding character, to just blow up that one concentrated area. They don't have that wombo combo anymore, which means that these team fights are going to be a lot more intricate. I think you're going to see the positioning being very key into these team fights, whether it's Cameron Day or Silver Eagle or Gosu bot especially, finding out who can be the more disciplined carry to hang back, let the frontliners take care of the work, and just pick up the damage for the rest of the team.
Listen, on the flip side as well, though, Hickman High School has picked up the Janna pick. We see it a lot of disengage. On Cookie Renee, she's done very, very well staying alive and just keeping her other carries alive. And that's one other tool that they have to keep the carries on Hickman's side alive. It's just, it's going to go back and forth. And in the first 10 minutes, if Jefferson City can not fall too far behind, it's going to be a very fun game to watch in terms of team fighting.
I would like to see confidence from Jefferson City's engage. I know that they picked the champions that can engage aggressively, but it really comes down to your mentality. Do you think you can win this trade? And you need to be able to support your teammates when they think it's the right time to strike. If only one person, such as Waddle Dash, charges in there with an ultimate and everyone's late to the game, they're not going to explode the rival team, Hickman High School in this case, to win that early 4v5 or to overcome this split push team comp that we're definitely going to see from Michael. Looks like we do have some sound issues coming from the Jefferson City side. We will take care of those technical issues as we pause our games. Ben, do you want to fill in for some commentary while I take care of these issues?
Get a quick interview. Interview with the coach.
Yeah, so normally this is usually my other co-caster, Ben, and Ben over here. He normally casts with me when Hickman High School is not playing. He is the head coach of Hickman High School as well as one of the coaches for the Mizzou team. So welcome, Ben. He is... So, of course, this is a little bit impromptu, but I guess one of the things I want to ask you... Well, actually, I don't want to ask that yet because the other players can hear that. So I probably shouldn't ask you anything specifically about this game, as I know We're jumping into the game right now, but I'm assuming it's going to pause again due to the sound issue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna pause, I can tell you that.
Okay, got you. That's all. Thank you for letting me know beforehand. But, of course, how do you feel so far, though, as a coach of both a collegiate team and a coach of a high school team? How is that really, or I guess I should say first, you're the coach of a college team first, being Mizzou. How has that kind of shaped your philosophies and your, I guess, your thought process when coming into a high school team? Have you brought some of those over?
Yeah, definitely. I think, having coached before, I know kind of what the players usually need to work better as a team. A lot of the hardest part about forming a team is that you're used to playing this game maybe alone or with one other friend, but when you have full control over all 5 players, managing that is a huge part to decide who comes out ahead. And so, talking about communication, how to communicate, is a huge factor in these team games. It's definitely the biggest thing. The biggest difference going from solo queue to team play.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that it's very, very important to highlight, especially for parents who might not understand exactly what's going on in this whole video game world. These kids are just playing games, just talking to people online, and I think if you really break it down, like they're playing, except with 10-4, they're kind of playing a game of chess almost. Like these players have to work together, have to strategize. It's just kind of like anything like a football team even. It's pretty crazy how in-depth and crazy technical this game can be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so otherwise, though, I think with the sound issues being fixed, I'm going to have to boot you out of here. We don't want to talk.
Good talk.
Yeah, good talk. Thank you. We'll see you again
All right.
next week for Hickman versus Rockbridge on Sunday. Also, at some point, I don't know why we haven't done this yet. We're going to have to get every single coach out here, get a little interview, get them talking, because that's something that I actually, Coach Evan, I think that's something as well. While we're still waiting for the time delay in the pause, we're going to have you on here. Coach Evan Rowland, everyone. He is the head coach of Jefferson City High School. Not only that, he is a student at Mizzou. And he makes the drive to Jefferson City every single week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty big. That's like a 30-minute drive.
That's a little ways, yeah.
That's some commitment there. How's it been so far for you? First 4 weeks into the league?
It's been great. I've really enjoyed it, and just seeing how much these guys have improved has been just amazing to see. It's kind of unbelievable to me because I never improved this quickly when I was playing. So.
Yeah, and that's what we see, like in our summer camp specifically. If you guys don't know, come to our League of Legends summer camps. They'll make you gold for sure, guaranteed. But anything, yeah, playing in a competitive environment like this is right. It really gets them motivated, right?
Yeah, it gets you thinking about the game, and League is such a cerebral game that it's important that you're thinking about it if you want to improve. You can't rely on your mechanics alone.
Yeah, so again, it's really exciting. I know some spirits might be down. I mean, Jefferson City hasn't won a game yet, but every single time they come in here, they always seem very, very happy. They're always smiling and joking around. Do you contribute some to that? I know it's not always easy.
I try and keep morale up, and it's just been tough on them because the outcomes show all these losses, but the games have been, they've been competing really hard, and they've been close games, and I'm just trying to relate to them, like, we're right there. We're on the edge of getting these wins, and we just have to keep pushing and not let it affect our mentality.
And I think that's super important for a lot of these kids. It's not just a game, for some of them, and it's at the same time, though, it's their high school experience, and I'm glad that they're able to be on stage and do this. Man, it would have been fun if we were able to do this right when we were in high school.
Absolutely, definitely.
But, of course, so thank you, though, for stopping in. Appreciate everything you've done so far for all of our coaches. Oh, fist bump. Of course, good luck, coaches. We're going to be jumping right into the game now. The pause actually has just ended, so thank you to everyone who has stuck alongside us while we sat through all those pauses.
Yeah, we got the issue fixed. Not to just a minor sound issue that we fix all the time here at Ukatsu headquarters. As I turn down the volume for the beginning of this game.
Yeah, I haven't said in a while, though. Again, while we're waiting, though, I want to shout out to our sponsors. Thank you for making this possible. Columbia College, again, they're hosting their Midwest Campus Clash tomorrow from 10 to 6. You guys should show up. It is free to attend on campus. Our players will be there. There will be a Rocket League tournament, the League of Legends tournament. You should be there. It's really fun in Columbia, Missouri, of all places. Of course, then we have Armstrong Teasdale, our very own lawyer group, helps us become a business, stay a business, all that kind of stuff. Very important, as well as Hawthorne Bank and Veterans United. Thank you guys to all of our sponsors making this possible. Now we're jumping right into the game.
For sure. Still looking for sponsors, by the way. If you are curious about sponsoring the first ever live high school esports league in the nation, do not hesitate to email us at info.ukatsu.org or info@ukatsu.org.
Or even if you're interested
or just
in
come talk to us after the game. We don't bite.
Again, it's a little bit early here, but even if you guys would be interested in sponsoring a potential Overwatch league that may or may not be in the works in the next couple of months, we know some of you guys know already, but be excited if you guys like Overwatch and if League is not necessarily your cup of tea. But anyway, we're back into the game, though. We're in the Hickman versus Jefferson City A squad for Week 4. Predictions have been thrown out there. We know exactly what we're looking for. It's going to be a good early game kind of game. Or I guess the early game is really going to decide who's going to run away with it. We see Waddle Dash again getting pretty good early trades early on. I like the Scion pick into the Yorick. It's at least someone that can maybe slow him down. Later on in the game, though, I will say Dark Quacker is probably going to outpush poor Waddle Dash, and he's probably going to need some more jungle assistance.
Oh yes, we should point out that the early game is so important more than ever nowadays because the game creators themselves have kind of fine-tuned this experience to be less of a stalemate. In the professional scene, a lot of these games last season went on for far too long, and they've adjusted the amount of gold you get, the rewards you get from taking towers to give momentum.
Okay. Again, thank you to Jeffrey Galaxy Fox Mullen, jungler for Rockbridge, for really teaching all these other junglers that invading, no one can stop this. This is like the third game in a row now that we have seen another jungle invade. And what that means is not only is he taking this buff for himself, he's taking away resources away from Dragon the God. This is the second game in a row now Dragon the God has lost his blue buff.
And he's waiting in the bush, hoping for the first blood right here. Zach instantly jumps out. He also still has his passive that preserves his life that much more, but he now knows that, hey, my blue buff is gone. I don't have the cooldown reduction granted from that very important camp early game.
Elsewhere on the map, though, we see both lanes, both side lanes of Jefferson City actually pushing in to the Hickman squad. So that's something I didn't really expect. But just note though as well, sorry junglers, for a lot of you guys out there, I just want to put this out there to everyone so you guys know early on when you guys are off dancing and off not really doing anything in your lanes, go to your jungle camps. Ward, help your junglers out. Don't let them get invaded, please.
Standard start is just to look over at your jungle entrances. And again, maybe slightly unusual jungle pathing for Jefferson City High School. We saw the bot lane red buff followed by the Raptor camp and then the Wolves camp. That's maybe a little much for your first clear. You want to head traditionally to your buff one camp and then your other buff, which is why the both A and B teams have been able to steal away blue buff both games from Jefferson City.
Yeah, matchup-wise, though, I do like, I think most lanes are pretty even. I don't really expect the bot lane of Jefferson City to get any kills early on. I shouldn't really expect a Caitlyn Janna lane to get kills either from ganks. Jungle-wise, though, I think the Uncle Angel probably is a better one-on-one matchup into the Zac if they ever do trade. Same thing in the mid lane, both being control mages. Potentially, as long as no one makes any mistakes or gets ganked, there shouldn't be too many solo kills in this game.
Absolutely loving the crowd intensity here for watching Michael up in the top lane. Both Rockbridge and Hickman High School both amped up to see some Yorick action tonight.
That's what we do. I wish everyone could really understand like how good Michael is compared to some of the other players. Like just in a solo queue mentality, solo queue rank wise. I mean, he is. I don't know. Maybe if you guys were around, if you guys are Columbia natives, you guys watched Michael Porter play for Tolton. He is the Michael Porter of this league. It is actually kind of insane sometimes to watch. And so we're seeing Uncle Angel Bo dancing in the top lane bush, looking for the lane gank here. Waddle Dodge does not know. Although he should suspect, not seeing Dark Quacker in the lane, that there might be getting ganked. Oh, he finds the root on, instantly flashes away. Uncle Angel wasted a bit of time there. They did get a flash for free, but they're not going to find the kill. Waddle Dash instantly getting out of that situation.
Flash does result in that much more pressure, though, from Michael up in the top lane. He's done his job as a jungler. That is Bo, by the way, Uncle Angel. Now Michael has free reign to harass or to push in without worrying too much about any aggressive flashes or him escaping another gank in the future. See, just like right now. Trading blow for blow. Both in the top lane, very tanky champions. They've got a lot of health. They can sustain a lot of damage, so it takes quite a bit of time before any one of these champions will be eliminated. Meanwhile, we've got pretty even CS across the board
it's
right now.
Even gold, actually. 9.1 to 9.2. It's basically the same. Very even lane. Very even game, I mean, I should say.
So as a jungler, what are you looking for in both Hickman and Jefferson City's side? Which lane would you pick to sway this game?
Well, currently, again, We talked about York again as a split pusher. Actually, we had this conversation with the coach from Hickman High School not that long ago. But for York to be successful, he needs to have the rest of his lanes doing very well. So Trundle, Uncle Angel should be trying to find pressure on the other side of the map. If anything, I don't know why you'd ever gank top. Dark Quacker is not going to lose lane. It's just not going to happen. So he should really be focusing his ganks either on the mid lane or the bot lane. Bot lane is not going to find any kills with the Caitlyn Janna. They just don't have the CC, the engage. So it's unlikely they're going to find any kills there. So I'd probably go mid. I'd say both junglers should actually decide to go mid. Bot lane's going to be a tough lane. They both have the disengage, not enough CC, that kind of thing to find the pick, especially with the Jinx pushing in. I don't think Jefferson City's going to be able to find a gank down there. So I'd probably focus your jungle pressure mid, which, as we see here, both junglers are sitting mid, so we might just see that.
Maybe they overheard you in your recommendations because, again, they are hovering around this mid lane, hoping to find first blood for their own respective teams. Let's talk about the bot lane real quick with Jarek Kimball and Ryan Wilkinson on Jefferson City and Matthew Perkins and Renee Tellman for Hickman. Traditionally, it's the other way around when it comes to who's aggressive. The Caitlyn, picked by Matthew Perkins, usually pushes up to the enemy's tower.
Yeah.
Starting to do that finally now, but up until this point, it really was Jarek who applied that offensive pressure.
I kind of like that. Maybe that's maybe a coach's decision. Maybe that's just trying out new things, but it's very, I guess, uncharacteristic of Matthew. He does like the pixel to dash forward, think like the Vayne, think like the really carry kind of champions. And Caitlyn, while she can carry, she isn't primarily the kind of like the highlighted pick. She doesn't really walk forward. She has a lot of range. She can poke and she can control a lot of space. But she's not like the Tristana that can dash forward, the Lucian that can dash forward, even the Kaisa that now can also dash forward. So it's not something that you traditionally see out of Matthew. And so maybe they're just trying out different things, trying out different roles on people. And maybe we'll see how it works.
Absolutely right. And at around 9 minutes into the game, no first bloods or kills just yet. This only proves how disciplined each team is. Slight trade coming into the top lane.
Uncle Angel finding the
He does not have flash. That will be first blood going in favor of Hickman High School. Waddle Dash does get a passive where he can attack, but does not secure the return trade kill on Michael. That's first blood going to Michael up at the top lane. 76 CS to Waddle Dash's Chase is his name. His 54 creep score. So
Chase did have vision of that gank. It was just a good engage by Dark Quacker, knowing when to lock him down and understanding that he would be able to escape before Uncle Angel Bo was able to make it there. So that was just good communication between Dark Quacker and Uncle Angel.
So now begins that split push comp with Michael up in both creep score and 1 kill. This is when he can really start to apply pressure, and it's up to the rest of Hickman to know when to apply pressure themselves and when to back out of situations that they know they can't win.
We see Uncle Angel going for another cheeky invade, which is I don't like this, honestly. His top laner had just recalled, unless he has TP, which he does.
Ooh.
Oh, actually the flash.
The threat of Uncle Angel forcing Dragon to flash out of that, maybe preemptively.
They did have the numbers advantage. That could have been a 3v1 situation. Dark Quacker had just recalled. He did have TP, but that would have been 8 seconds before we even got there. So maybe miscommunication there. They could have forced a 3v1 situation.
At the same time, though, if they do know that Michael has teleport up, that has probably been the kryptonite for every single team this Hickman A squad has played, is
he's
not
coming around
recognizing.
again here. Uncle Angel bullying Dragon the God. How unfortunate. Zach's passive has been popped, meaning if all of his blobs go back to the center,
Here
he will
comes
revive.
Cameron Day hoping to save his teammate. Will he do so? Bolts down, delivers a lot of damage. Uncle Angel flashes forward and is now being chipped away by Oriana. But meanwhile, How is joining the fight, as well as Dark Quacker and Chase. How gets a kill on a snipe, I'm assuming, on Quinn. Jinx ult fired from bot lane, but no connection. Meanwhile, Uncle Angel, How coming
Still
into the jungle,
top
harassing
jungle.
just as much as possible. This is the game plan that maybe Coach Ben Bruce has devised for both A and B squad, is to be as aggressive in the enemy jungle as possible. That's, again, very difficult to combat and to play around if you do not have the right communication to deal with it.
And something I want to highlight here, though, is Jefferson City responded, though. We did see Cameron Day rotate. We did see Waddle Dodge also rotating down, even if it was a little bit late. That's something that Battle struggled with Wednesday. They never responded at all. They kind of left poor Anusa out to dry. Every single time we saw these crazy engages going on, they did rotate, and they did almost pick up a kill. It just kind of comes down to maybe a little bit different coordination. If potentially Dragon the God had jumped a different direction, again, no real reason to point fingers. It's just a very good play by Hickman High School to
very good
converge
snipe
on that
from
point.
Howe.
And that's just something that's it's just instantaneous. You see these guys; they all three rotated the moment they saw that opportunity,
Right.
and now put them in a slight advantage. Up 2 kills, up 2K gold. No snowballing yet, and this is all right. I think Jefferson City's in a safe place right now. They are all right. No one is too far ahead. I mean, even looking at the bot lane, the CS differential's 18, 17. It's about 1 kill, so it's not too bad yet. No one is snowballing out of control yet. So if I'd say if. For the most part, if Jefferson City can scale out and get 2 items, a 2-item Jinx, at least complete 1.5, 2 items also on escape velocity, get to that mid game, they'll have a chance to win some of these team fights.
Right. It'll still be pretty even. Meanwhile, Dark Quacker applying so much pressure into this top lane, chunking down the turret with each ability he lands. I want to see another gank coming from Quinn to see if they can possibly overtake Michael up in the top lane. Uncle Angel,
Well,
Bo,
everyone's a bully
planning
tonight.
his next invade. Pops
fails the blast cone.
the blast cone, yeah.
Well,
And he will
there,
get
though.
punished for this.
Poor-
He's being surrounded currently by Jefferson City High School. 4 members of the team going
that
in.
flash.
Missed jump from Dragon the God. Ultimate comes down from Cameron Day. Meanwhile, the Peel squad comes in.
From Howe. Great binding coming out from Howe, stopping the entire bot lane of Jefferson City.
Bo.
Uncle Angel's able to escape with his
Bo,
life.
I just want to say you better thank your teammates for that one.
Good job though
getting
by
you out of
Jefferson
that
City.
situation.
That was a much better rotation by Jefferson City. They basically they isolated the threat, instantly rotated. A few missed CCs there. Uncle Angel's throwing out the jukes, breaking them ankles, and of course the support from Howe allows them to escape. But much better response though by Jefferson City.
Hickman decides to call for a dragon play. This would be Earth Drake, giving more damage to both large monsters. Oh my lord, Howe snipes yet another character off the screen.
Yeah, and something to point out from some of these snipes is that they're dying so quickly, the camera's not even rotating them before they go down. We see a teleport coming out from Dark Quacker. Waddle Dodge does not have his teleport up yet. So all 5 members of Hickman are on the bot side. They do pick up the Earth Drake as well as the kill on to Silver Eagle 99. And now this is kind of the snowball that we're talking about. I don't necessarily like that dragon play that they had. They didn't necessarily have a clear advantage other than a little bit of gold that they had. But they just forced it. And they found the pick with the Lux ult, and from there they get the dragon, find the pick, and now they're just forcing down multiple objectives.
Yeah, we said it earlier. This team comp, though it is a split push team comp, especially with the Janna pick. They've solidified the disengage. They've solidified the wave clear. But they are very reliant on each of their own individual skills to find these picks, and they're just unfortunate. Meanwhile, Howe able to find so many picks deep into the enemy jungler, as well as saving a Bo in the jungle himself.
Yes, Bo is... He's being kind of a bully here tonight. Yeah, I believe he is actually, if we go back and check it, ooh, good job, Silver Eagle 99, Jarek stealing away, or I guess securing their own red buff. Great ultimate coming out from Cameron Day, finding the pick. Huge ultimate coming out from Cookie as well, saving her teammates. Jefferson City is finding the advantage here. Silver Eagle picking up multiple kills. He picks up 2 kills.
Double
That's exactly
kill.
what you want to see. Good job to Jefferson City isolating the picks. Hickman High School tried to disengage there. They got split up there. And great job to Jefferson City right there.
Yep, great team fight going in favor of Jefferson City, but meanwhile, Hickman High School is still applying pressure to both the mid and top lane. Dark Quacker now chipping away at top lane turret.
In the bot lane, though, we do see Jefferson City's bot lane doing the same thing on that tower. That tower is likely going to go down as well, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, although Hickman High School will secure the first tower of the game. Now, going back, I want to watch that replay. Pretty amazing. So, Bo, he's just being a bully. He spent probably more time in the enemy jungle than he has his own jungle. That's just, it's just mean. It's not a lot of fun to deal with. But, coming out of this play, Silver Eagle 99, he secures their own red buff, which is great. Cameron Day throws out his ball and finds a great pick. That's half of Howe's health that he just dealt on his own. Cookie, though, stops the massive engage, allowing How to escape the ult, and the rest of Jefferson City just converge on the point. Multiple members of Hickman High School have to separate and go back in multiple directions. They're unable to actually fight that. So Jefferson City picks up 2 kills.
Yeah.
And they both go on to Jarek,
Jarek.
which is huge.
Again, that's the key to this team comp that Jefferson City has elected. They need to protect their squishy characters, that being Jarek playing Jinx in the bot lane, as well as Cameron Day, Escape Velocity playing Oriana in the mid lane. If they can stay alive, they can win these long team fights like we just saw there, forcing How to get out of that fight. He wasn't able to follow up after getting ulted twice.
Yep. And he says a lot. It's like confidence. It's the confidence to engage together. And Jefferson City had that right there.
Maybe they'll find the confidence to engage right now again. Oh,
almost stolen
close
with the
steal
Jinx
from
ult.
Jarek. But no cigar as Hickman does secure the...
Well, maybe trying to force his engage a little too much. Now, the big issue, we're going back again to what Dark Quacker is doing on this Yorick pick. The rest of his team is forcing these objectives across the map, and now Dark Quacker has the freedom to split push on the bot side, picking up a free tower. I do like this call, though. Jefferson City trying to compensate for that, trying to find something back in return.
Pushing the mid lane down.
Yep, trying to get some damage on that mid lane tower. Great response. Not necessarily an even trade, but at least they're not necessarily playing totally reactively. But they're trying to make their own decisions.
Engage coming in. Ultimate goes down, but only connects with the enemy Trundle. Meanwhile, guess who's still pushing in the bot lane? That would be Michael Zoe pushing the second tier of bot lane turret. Jefferson City now responding, but of course Hickman High School knowing that they are responding and pushing that mid lane to counter this dive.
Dark Quacker, we said it before, we're just going to see the 1v3. Oh, he just flashes onto Silver Eagle 99. Oh no.
Quinn jumps in trying to save what remained of that team fight, but he also goes down, blowing his passive at the same time. Now we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the bot lane, including Michael's summoned ultimate ability. They will take the first inhibitor turret 18 minutes into the game. Again, very calculated movements coming from Hickman High School.
And there's something, the Rift Herald as well. This might be the end of the game here. Oh, good engage, come back out. Jarek has respawned. Silver Eagle 99 dodges the Lux ult. He's out there dealing as much DPS as possible. No one is currently on top of the Lux. Dark Quacker doesn't have flash anymore, so he's not able to take him down immediately. With the threatening damage from Silver Eagle 99, they're able to repel the Hickman squad. A little bit greedy. They almost secured that tower though with the Rift Herald. That was insane.
But with the inhibitor turret down at 19 minutes, that's going to apply so much pressure into the bot lane. I guarantee you Michael's just going to go back up top and continue his split push. Meanwhile, the rest of the team hoping to disengage from whatever team fights they might run into.
Right here, we saw a 3v1 situation. That's just the damage that came out from Michael though. Instantly flashing, auto-queuing to hit Silver Eagle 99. It just pops. And that's something that Hickman doesn't necessarily have the craziest tools to get to the backline, but he just used a summoner spell and just blew up the entire damage threat from Jefferson City High School.
Yep, perhaps a slight positioning error on Jarek's part, but he knew the second time they engaged within the Nexus, within their base, he flashed out instantly. Didn't want to take another pot shot from Michael, so he probably knows better now to position around his teammates to get the support from the top jungle and support characters from Jefferson City.
They're not in the worst place. Jarek has secured his Infinity Edge, one of the necessary 2 item spikes that he needs. Again, if Jefferson City is able to get 2 items, they might be able to start winning more of these fights. I've liked the engages that they're throwing out there. They did save both of their Nexus towers. Even though it did look not the best of situations, they were able to save the tower.
Yes, interesting rotation coming from Hickman High School. They've put 4 of their players up in top. They are now pinging for Baron while Jefferson City secures their first dragon of the game. Looks like Hickman will do that rotation right now as they try to take a 20-minute Baron again. Maybe attributed to Coach Ben Bruce for these aggressive Baron calls early.
Yeah.
Push your lead.
If anything, again, remember that the Hickman B squad did take the Baron at 20 minutes and 45 seconds. Now taking only 15 seconds later. Again, with an inhibitor down. Oh, Waddle Dash uses his ultimate, but runs into the wall from Dark Quacker. He's still going to escape. Good decision there. At this point now, Jefferson City just needs to stay alive. As long as they don't get picked, they can probably repel. From what we've seen from the last couple of fights, they do have enough damage to team fight and at least hopefully stop Hickman High School from continuing this push. It's really going to depend on whether or not Hickman High School finds a pick. Or they just split push, which again is another possibility. They just spread them across the map. Hickman High School does have strong characters in the sense that they could probably take down some of these towers. I don't think too many of Hickman's characters, though, players are strong enough to just outright duel all of Jefferson City's.
Right. One of the I guess silver linings for this Jefferson City high school team is even with the split push comp, eventually you're going to end up with your back against a wall and you're going to fight that team fight that they are looking for. So Hickman, however, is doing everything right now. They're taking objectives. They're pushing down the towers. We've got inhibitor tower down at 18 minutes. Super minions are now pushing on the Nexus turrets as the rest of the team takes the mid lane turret and inhibitor.
We're seeing now the Caitlyn and the How playing Lux coming into play. Matthew and How, siege kind of characters. They have a lot of range, they have a lot of pick, and it's kind of just forcing Jefferson City to back off of these towers. They really weren't able to defend, and it's going to come down to the point where Jefferson City just needs to pull the trigger. Almost sniping Silver Eagle 99. So much damage coming out from How. Jefferson City's going to need to pull the trigger here and engage.
Looks like we're about to see one last team fight, if at all possible. We've got an ultimate coming in. Gets redirected. Matthew Ghostbot flashes out of that.
I didn't know that was a thing.
However,
like
they are completely ignoring the Michael in the back, taking down both the support and the AD carry. Not too many members left on Jefferson City to defend this inhibitor, or I'm sorry, this Nexus. And that is game at 23 minutes. Very well executed split push team comp coming in from Hickman High School. And again, 23 minutes. The other game was 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's, I didn't know that was a thing. Again, we're really excited the fight, though, was that Dark Quacker was on Silver Eagle 99 alone. Like, no one's able to appeal for the actual damage threat for Jefferson City. He actually had 2 items completed.
Look at this Scion ult.
I didn't know that was
the pillar into the redirect. Maybe that was intentional on on Bo's part. That would be a great way to meme on your ADC if you're ever wanting to. So
I've never seen the interaction before.
If there's anything you learned tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you can pillar Scion ult.
Thank you, Veterans United, for letting us know that you can actually. I don't even know what
that's incredible. Yeah. Congratulations to Hickman, both A and B teams tonight, and thank you so much for Jefferson City coming out tonight. Great sportsmanship coming from both teams as they walk over to shake hands. Coaches have shaken hands, and I saw them talking earlier. It seems like everyone's really happy to be a part of this league. Whether or not win-loss, it doesn't really matter because this is truly incredible. We're seeing students raising their grades to compete. We're seeing school borders being, crossed. Yeah. we see, Hickman High School, Rockbridge High School, Battle, Jefferson City, all coming together, making friends across school boards. Like, that's something truly to be proud of. And again, we're grateful to have our club sponsors, coaches for each respective school, and of course our athletes themselves as they are all getting up now, hugging, high-fiving, celebrating their victories, or just being here. So without further ado, though, that's going to be it for us tonight here at Ukatsu headquarters. We hope you enjoyed watching our live broadcast for the High School Esports League brought to you by Columbia College. We couldn't have done this with our other sponsors as well, Veterans United, Armstrong, Teesdale, and Hawthorne Bank. Be sure to like and subscribe us on our socials, Facebook. Come out to this Fortnite challenge, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to win some cash money, here's your chance.
Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow at the Midwest Campus Clash. And if not, then we'll see you next week for week 5.
Week 5.
And we're seeing the
Halfway
rematch
there.
between Rockbridge and Hickman to start out the week on Wednesday. The fabled rivalry is going to be back. Hickman High School has a lot to prove. They want to shut down Rockbridge's perfect record. And I'm excited to watch. If anything, though, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys for coming out to the Ukatsu High School Esports League. I appreciate everything you do for us, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, take care.